been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Friday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show, here to wrap up the week going into Labor Day weekend. Darren and Justin here with you for the next 2 hours. We're live here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Damon Keene is alongside for the ride. Our phone line and text line, that number is 615-844-5600. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for the next 2 hours as well. Justin, how we doing?
Doing great. A little warmer than yesterday, but still, nice day outside. I know a lot of fans are starting to arrive here in town for a big weekend where we're going to have 2 SEC football games within a few hours and a few miles apart. So that's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic happening in this town tomorrow. So, it's an exciting time. Really is.
Have they ever played on the same day in town?
No. I've looked it up. As far as I can tell, they have never played in town on the same day without playing each other.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it is very interesting to watch here. So both fan bases will be here. Obviously, the stakes are a little different for each one. And so, we'll see what happens here.
I am doing better than Florida today, so I'm excited about my weekend.
Let's get to that. That is the chatter everywhere. Everybody wants to man. Everybody who's talking to. As soon as I walked into work this morning, first thing somebody said to me, "Did you see what happened to Florida? Man, what happened to Florida?"
Well, if you watched the game, I could see why you would want to talk about it because, we had Bill Keene on yesterday. We talked about the game. Utah didn't even have their starting quarterback in the lineup. And I know it was at Utah, which is also something we talked about. Florida typically does not do that.
No.
They do not venture outside the state early on in the season.
No.
They tend to play some cupcake games at home, although last year Utah did go to the Swamp and Florida beat them. A lot of people think that was the game that Anthony Richardson got drafted. Then he turned around the next week and lost to Kentucky at home, and he looked horrible. But Utah, we talked about it. Kyle Whittingham is in his 19th season there.
He's installed.
He is an unbelievable coach.
Yeah.
They basically win double-digit games every year. I mean, at Utah, he's winning like 10 games a year.
Yeah.
Every year, and nobody's been able to pry him away, which you can tell, man, he's an old-school coach.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who knows his stuff. He's a really good coach. And quite honestly, I was thinking about it last night watching Florida's poor, inept offense. I mean, their offense was – I think Florida should probably move into the Big Ten. I honestly feel like they should transfer to the Big Ten with that offense. And then when they get a real offense, they can come back to the SEC. But I kind of feel like they should play this season in the Big Ten.
Man.
Yeah.
People are clowning Florida. I mean, listen.
Did you watch Nebraska and Minnesota?
I did watch a little bit.
It was
of
like,
that,
3-0.5 or something like that.
It's like a little slobber knocker football there. Yeah.
Slobber knocker. Yeah. Did you watch Iowa's offense last year? Remember we talked about it on the show.
Yeah, I watched.
Remember they were here for the bowl game?
I do remember that. Yeah.
They broke loose, man. They opened up the playbook here. They went for 21 points.
Yeah. Listen, if you want the exciting brand of football, then this is not it. It's just not, you're not going to find it in the Big Ten. They're going to run the football. They're going to have scrambling quarterbacks. It's just what they're going to do. Big, explosive, wide receivers, not their style.
If you want
outside of Ohio State.
You want a tip for betting purposes, most Big Ten games, bet the under. You'll be safe.
Especially the colder it gets.
And the colder it gets, right. And some particular teams, bet the under. But in all seriousness, Florida's offense was pathetic. Wasn't Billy Napier hired? Isn't he the offensive guy?
Well,
right? In Louisiana, wasn't he the guy that
the problem you've got with
was
Florida,
scoring a lot of points?
Yes. But Darren, the issue you've got is Florida, again, is a victim of the neighborhood that they're in. And yes, they've got a lot of talent, but the expectation of what people expect from Florida is really one thing, primarily from Florida, that they were known for, that made them so good for so long. Speed. They were fast. Percy Harvin, fast. The defense guys, fast. That's the speed made them what they were. And they no longer have speed like that at mass on the team. They've got a couple of guys who remind you of what it used to be like, but they no longer have guys on the football field running 4-2 at all the receiver positions or whatever the ridiculousness that they were doing before. They just aren't producing that now.
Well, to your point, there's been many times over the years you would watch a Florida game and go, you know what? They don't look particularly sharp today, but they're just, in the end, they're going to out-athlete them.
Yeah.
They were not going to out-athlete
some guy's going to catch
Utah
a screen pass and go the distance.
In fact, they got blown. You always hear, I know I've had enough conversations with coaches over the years. The games are won in the trenches, right? How many times have you heard that, right?
All the time. It's cliche.
Games are won in the trenches. Well, guess who won the trenches last night?
Well,
Utah, the Utes.
Well,
they were blowing up Florida in the trenches.
It doesn't matter because Florida, Florida couldn't do anything.
Couldn't do anything
because they don't have the tools.
They were. I mean, that was it. Did the playbook, when you open it, did it say dink and dunk? Because there was a point where Utah was like, "Oh, okay, so you're just gonna throw for 3 yards every time? Okay, cool. We'll give you 3 yards every time you pass. Sure, okay." That's what Florida was doing. And by the way, as they fell further behind, it didn't change.
Yeah.
That was the sad part. It didn't change.
I mean, it used to be okay, though, because they had guys who would catch the 3-yard pass and take off. So it was fine before. It's not fine anymore. They don't have the guys. They just don't. Jabbar Gaffney. Is he? I'm reading some of the names here. Rideau Anthony, Ike Hilliard, Percy Harvin. Remember these guys?
Yeah, but I actually liked their receivers last night. But I liked their receivers last night.
Like them to do what?
That kid that caught the touchdown pass, he's 6'4". Did you see that catch?
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
But,
And number one was Pearsall, whatever his name. I thought they had weapons.
They got to find.
You might want to start with the quarterback.
They
you remember
find
where he transferred from?
No.
Wisconsin. Yeah. The Big Ten.
And he played like that too.
Well, that's my point. You might want to start with the quarterback rather than the receiver.
They got to find an identity then and go forward here. I know what the identity used to be. It used to be speed. If that's not going to be the case anymore, then they got to find something they do well and lean into that. And I don't know what that is for Florida right now. I don't know what they do well.
Quite honestly, the touchdown that they got, the lone touchdown, shouldn't have happened, in my opinion. I thought it was the wrong call. I was shocked that they gave him the conversion and the catch on the fourth down play. I thought the ball clearly hit the ground, and I thought it was going to get overturned, and it was going to be Utah's ball. Instead, they said it stands, and I was like, really? Because they looked at it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not a catch. Everybody on the broadcast said, this is not a catch. And, the next thing you know, it's... And I'm like, no, that's not a catch. And they called it a catch, and, then they converted that for a touchdown. So, I mean, they didn't really I'm shocked they scored a touchdown.
Well, they almost didn't, and it doesn't matter because the touchdown didn't really help them in the end. Utah was clearly the better team. They were the better coach team. And, Florida's got a real, crisis on their hands here this season because, the people were not very forgiving last year, and they're not going to put up with, going and losing these types of ball games here. They've got Tennessee in a couple of weeks. If Tennessee comes and blows the doors off of them, I don't know if Billy Napier's going to make it to October.
Well, he's definitely not going to make it to next year. Like, they went 6-7 last year, and they're just not going to accept another 6-7 season. Not at Florida. They don't care if he's been there 2 years. They're like, fine, what's your buyout? Bye. On to the next guy. And quite honestly, Justin, again, I'll keep saying it. I know, and maybe he just will never leave, and that's fine. But I would turn right to the guy that they just faced and said, okay, dude, I know you're loyal to Utah. We got it. You've been here 2 decades. But for like $10 million a year, would you come to Gainesville? Be our coach?
Well, does that act work in the SEC?
What do you mean?
Yeah. Day in, day
winning
out.
Games?
Yeah, beat Florida.
Winning games?
Yeah, I understand.
Again.
The style there.
Well, they've been in the Pac-12 and, winning a lot of games.
And what?
I understand. But, there are some good teams in the Pac-12 when it existed. Oregon and USC and UCLA's had their moments. In Washington State.
I know.
Oregon.
But Darren, Utah didn't have a running game. They just passed the ball because they knew that Florida couldn't play any defense. They were throwing the ball all over the place. Florida threw the ball downfield one time, and the guy was throwing it like I don't know where he was throwing it to. He was just a bad passer. And then Utah was just running all over them as far as passes. They were just throwing the ball. So they don't have a running game. Utah did, what I saw.
Well, I don't really know that they had to do anything. It was pretty apparent they were going to win the game.
Yeah.
Florida really offered no threat whatsoever. They weren't a threat. You could just tell.
No playmakers.
Yeah. Well, I think you should focus a lot on the quarterback too. I think they may have playmakers. That they may have a guy that can't get them the ball to the playmakers. That may be their problem.
Okay.
So we will see. We're going to switch gears. TSU and Notre Dame tomorrow here on these airwaves, 2:30. We're going to find out a little bit more about this Notre Dame team, and we're going to do that on the other side. As you listen to the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
This is something I wish I'd known. Many people who live in Tennessee are eligible for help paying for healthy food for pregnant and new moms, their babies, and young children, but don't realize it. Family income can be higher than you think. There's a website called TennesseeMeals.com for more information. Assistance for healthy food for expectant moms and young children. This information I need to share. TennesseeMeals.com.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Justice Center, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and the state.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple: incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cut, from the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceutical.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
Pleased to be joined by Coach Philip Fulmer.
Oh, Hall of Famer. You know, he's in Nashville quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
I'm in Nashville a lot. I don't know all this basketball talk. Who are these people you're talking to? Coach K and Patino. I'm just great times again on Rocky Top. We put the letters up on top of the stadium. It's fantastic.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton. WNSR. Nashville Sports Radio.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
Thank you, Big Voice Guy. Rolling along here on this Friday afternoon. Darren and Justin Mcfarland here with you, hence the name The McFarland Show. It makes sense. It really does. Something else that makes sense is this is the home of Tennessee State football, and their first game of the season is tomorrow in South Bend, Indiana, against Notre Dame. Eddie George, we had a great conversation with defensive coordinator Brandon Fisher earlier in the week, of course, the son of Jeff Fisher, and he's been on Eddie's staff the whole time. Eddie's been there at TSU, and they're going to take the show on the road in a historical game. Notre Dame has never hosted an HBCU, and so it's a really cool story. And you're going to hear that game here on these airwaves at 2:30 tomorrow kickoff. The coverage will start at 1:30. With that being said, Justin, let's go to South Bend. Let's bring in Pete Byrne, who covers them, went to Notre Dame, and he works at WSBT. That's the CBS affiliate there in South Bend, and he now joins us. Pete, how we doing?
Going great, guys. How you doing?
Wish we were on the Strip. I just got to be honest. We tried. We lobbied, but, yeah, everybody just kind of laughed. Probably like you did with your bosses, like, hey, what do you think about me going to Ireland? What do you think about that?
Right? Yeah, I knew that there was a low probability of that happening. I mean, hard to go, but yeah, it's for us TV guys. Everybody thinks that we have the big budgets, but it's a common misconception.
Talk about it, Pete. Tell them.
No, Justin.
Yeah, I'm not sure the radio budget's any different, Pete.
I'm going to go to Louisville in a couple weeks.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. A little road, a little I-65 action. They'll cover that. All right.
I have never been to a game there. Many, many years ago, I've told this story. We were on a road trip. Some buddies, we stopped. We were like, South Bend, we got to stop. The gate was open. And, of course, you know, we went down there and went on the field, and it was just like in the movie Rudy. You know, someone from the stands, a maintenance worker or something, is screaming, hey! Get off the field! So we got off the field, but we did get to spend about 10, 15 minutes running around on the field. So that was my Notre Dame experience.
Well, the fact that you were able to do that lets me know that was quite some time ago. Because,
it actually was, Pete, a long time ago.
Yeah, back in the day, and I grew up here, so I can say this, but back in the day, before they've expanded the stadium twice, but before they did any expansions, it was basically a chain link fence.
Yep.
Guarding that tunnel there. So, like, it was frequently open, or if you were so inclined, really, you could have hopped right over it and gotten down there. But now it's gates and brick walls and locks, and if somehow you're able to penetrate all that, then yeah, there's probably an old dude there yelling, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, you just timelined it perfectly. It was a chain link fence, so yeah. My hair, I didn't have gray hair back then, so that also is the good little timeline for you.
You could have hopped the fence.
Do what?
But then you would have been able to hop the fence then.
Actually, this time frame, today, no chance. Back then, we could have done it. Yeah, we could have done it. This Notre Dame team, I know Navy probably isn't going to be very good. They're in the midst. They've had a long-time coach there. He's gone. So Navy's probably going to struggle. But nonetheless, Notre Dame looked really good over in Ireland. What was your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly was the takeaway. I mean, when you cover Notre Dame, you always expect them to handle Navy. But the reality is there's been times over the last 20 years where it's been really difficult for them, and a couple of really bad years where they actually lost to Navy. Clearly, last week's game, if you saw it, was never in doubt. I mean, right from the opening series, Notre Dame looked to be in control of that game. Things that I noticed were, first and foremost, the quarterback, right? He's new for us, sixth-year senior, transfer from Wake Forest. One of the most accomplished passers in NCAA football history. For some reason, the NFL's not impressed with him, but I sure am. And all he did in his Notre Dame debut was throw as many touchdowns as anybody ever has. And that's the first game we've ever seen him. So right out of the gate, they've upgraded. You take a team that was top 20 last year, and they have upgraded significantly at quarterback. The two guys who played quarterback for this team last year are now at Alabama and at Arizona State, and neither one of them are starting at those places. So they went from starting at Notre Dame to not starting at other schools. So they've made a massive upgrade at quarterback, and that was evident even to a casual Notre Dame fan last week. And then the other thing that stood out to me was how hard of a time Navy had running the ball against Notre Dame. I think they held them to about 160 rushing yards, which, I mean, Navy averages about 300 on the ground traditionally the last couple of years. So the fact that they were able to do that leads me to believe that they're pretty solid on both sides of the ball. Yes, it's Navy, but again, like I've said, there have been years where Navy has made it really, really tough for them. In fact, just last year, I think they only beat them by a touchdown, if memory serves correct. So, yeah, they beat them by 3 points last year. So to go ahead and beat them by 39 this year, pretty tough.
Yeah, Navy scored 32 points on them last season. So
yeah, and 3 last week.
Yeah, usually, and you know this, that Notre Dame can churn out some pretty big offensive linemen, some good offensive linemen that have obviously played at the next level or have been really, really good at the collegiate level. I suspect this offensive line is pretty stout as well.
Yeah, if you're the type of person that pays attention to the line, you want to keep an eye on both tackles for Notre Dame. Joe Alt on the left side, Blake Fisher on the right side. They're both closer to 7 feet than they are 6 feet. They're both over 300 pounds. They're both juniors, actually. They're not even seniors. Joe Alt was an All-American last year. Either one of them could be an All-American this year. They will both be first-round NFL picks whenever they decide to leave, provided they don't get injuries. Those dudes are studs, those two bookends. The center's pretty good, too, number 52, Zeke Correll. He's a returning starter. I mean, it's not atypical for a guy who starts on Notre Dame's line more than 1 year to go to the NFL and stick around for a while. So, but those two guys on either end, those tackles, pretty special.
I know we wouldn't ask Marcus Freeman this if he was on the show, but we can ask you this because I know coaches don't look ahead. Looking at their schedule this year, got to be honest.
Yeah, just one game at a time. That's all I'm thinking about.
I know. They're like, it's not even one game. It's like 1 minute at a time. It's like they won't even talk about next hour. So, but I want to talk to you about Ohio State coming to South Bend. I want to talk about USC coming to South Bend, and I want to talk about Notre Dame going to Clemson. Those are 3 opponents that really stood out to me on this schedule. Pretty impressive to see all 3 of them on this year's schedule. How much has been talked about who they've scheduled this year?
A lot, but you don't be surprised when I say that this is not an atypical schedule for Notre Dame. They played all 3 of those schools last year as well.
Did they really? Okay.
They opened up the season at the Horseshoe. They played Clemson in November here in South Bend. Notre Dame won that game. I think it was Clemson's only loss in the regular season, and then they closed out the season. They play USC every year.
Yeah, right.
They play in October when they play in South Bend, and they always play them Thanksgiving weekend when they play them in California. So it's a typical Notre Dame schedule, really, in every way. You can't control what your opponents are ranked, but over the last decade, Clemson's been one of the teams to beat. Now, Ohio State's not a regular, right? They've got a home and home with them right now, but we've known that for a while. When Ohio State rolls off the schedule, there's a team called Alabama that's coming in after that. Before that it was Georgia. Before that it was Texas. I mean, that's just kind of what Notre Dame does with its schedule, is that they put one or two really sexy opponents on every year. That's one of the reasons why they're independent. Is that it gives them the opportunity to do stuff like that and to always schedule a game against either USC or Stanford out Thanksgiving weekend on the West Coast. Now, I'm not trying to dodge a question. That's just me saying I'm not surprised when I saw that. But yeah, there's tremendous meat on this schedule, right? I mean, that's 3 teams ranked in the top 9 to start the season, and they won't all end up there. But one of those three teams is probably going to end up in the college football playoff, right? And if none of those teams end up in the college football playoff, then I'll go ahead and say it's because Notre Dame ends up in the college football playoff, right? I mean, there's just that much power there. But those are fun games, right? I mean, those are the days that make South Bend really, really special place to be.
Yeah, and after watching Florida last night, maybe they should have put Florida on their schedule this year.
Interestingly, they're working on a series with Florida right now, and of course, as you can imagine, the issue is dates, right? Like Florida does not want to come here in November, and they want to host Notre Dame on Labor Day weekend when it's like 120 degrees down there.
Yeah.
It's all about that gamesmanship, right?
So Pete, we have talked college football realignment here on this program quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. You know what's coming, Pete. You know what time it is, man. So we've got to ask the question because inevitably we'll talk about it, and some caller will call up and say, well, what about Notre Dame? What are you going to do with them? Are you going to force them to join the conference? And the thought has been for a long time, Notre Dame is not going to join the conference unless they absolutely have to, and I'm not sure if there's anybody in college football with enough power to make them actually get into a conference. They tend to be too big in and of themselves to remain independent, and I think they like being independent. Have you ever heard of them getting close? And you would know better than anybody covering them and being up there for the last number of years. Have they ever even gotten close to joining a conference?
Yeah, they got close in like 1995 to joining the Big Ten, but it didn't happen. It just wasn't, and I don't know why. I was a student at that point, but I know they gave it some serious consideration then. They haven't given it any real consideration. I shouldn't say consideration. They've never gotten close since then. And now you say in a conference. They're in a conference for everything except football. They're in the ACC. They play ACC basketball. They play every other sport except football.
That's true.
And if you look at their schedule, you'll notice it's half ACC teams. So when people say why Notre Dame or why not Notre Dame, I mean, they're giving the ACC everything the ACC is asking for in a partner, right? They're basically in the conference. They just don't play for the conference title. But what the ACC cares about is having football games against Notre Dame, and they get 5 or 6 of those every year. And it'll be more when Stanford joins in a couple of years because Notre Dame's playing Stanford every year. But they don't get close because they don't have to and they don't want to. They value their independence for a number of reasons. Primarily it's just that. It's the freedom to schedule when, how, and where they want to. It's what allows them to play a game against Tennessee State this weekend, not because they need a quote-unquote cupcake, but because they want to play an HBCU school to draw attention to some of the great things that a university like that has to offer and draw the parallels between a school like that and their own school. It's not for TV money. Everybody says, well, they got their own network. That's why they're never going to leave. Yeah, it's important that they have their relationship with NBC, but they actually make less money annually than they would if they were in the Big Ten through media rights. So it's not just a flat money grab. The one thing that would force Notre Dame to join a conference in football, and the only thing I believe, is if college football were to align itself in such a way that Notre Dame no longer had a path to winning a national championship. And by that I mean if they were to make some sort of blanket rule that says like you can only be in the playoffs if you're a conference champion or if you're a conference division winner or fill in the blank regarding conference affiliation. If there is no way for a non-conference champion to be included, that would force their hand. But short of that happening, they're not going to join a conference of football because they don't need to.
Yeah.
I mean, look at their schedule, right? Who's got a better schedule than that?
It's impressive now. Now, of course, we are the home of TSU here on this particular radio station. I can't let you go without asking you about the social implications of this football game. Obviously, two African-American head coaches, who went to Ohio State, who know each other off the field. Notre Dame is holding a number of other events surrounding this game. I've seen the schedule. They've got symposiums and talks and lectures going on. So it's not just a football game. It is deeper than that.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why Notre Dame consciously chose to play this game. And I think the fact that Eddie George is there makes it a natural fit between he and Marcus Freeman. They have a relationship. I should let your listeners know that already. So they're both Ohio State guys, which you noted. Marcus Freeman's a little bit younger than Eddie George, and Marcus grew up in Ohio as an Ohio State fan. So he was actually a kid rooting for Eddie George back when Eddie was in his heyday at Ohio, and then we all know the kind of pro career he had, and the two of them have formed a relationship many years ago that just I'm sure will only be strengthened by this weekend. So I think that relationship between the two was why Tennessee State ended up being the fit. But you're right, this is a very deliberate game on the schedule because I think Notre Dame's a great institution, and they really think about kind of their responsibilities to be a leader among academic institutions when it comes to social justice and matters like that. They're really good about letting their athletes speak their minds and use their platforms for things that are important to them, not just things that are important to the school. And by that, it's a Catholic school. They're not just promoting that mission. They're allowing athletes to promote their own missions and things that are important to them. A lot of coaches and a lot of schools would just tell their athletes to be quiet. How often do you hear stick to sports, stay in your lane? They really give their athletes the freedom to talk about things that matter to them. And Notre Dame sees itself as a leader nationally when it comes to these types of issues. And you mentioned two African-American head coaches in this football game. Notre Dame, I don't know if you know this, Notre Dame's the only Power 5 school that has a black football coach, a black men's basketball coach, and a black women's basketball coach. And that's something that they're proud of. So there's a lot going on in this game besides the football game. Football and NBC is just a vehicle for which they can bring it to the masses.
All right. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to follow up and just ask him real quick. Tell us a little bit about Marcus Freeman, because people that knew the program knew when Brian Kelly left that he was going to be the guy, at least the people that I talked to. I talked to Notre Dame grads who are like, Marcus Freeman. I was like, really? I just figured they were going to go out and get some big name, but tell us what he's been like as the head coach.
He's been great. He's very, very personable, very, very kind of a deep thinker, if you will. He's very deliberate. That's probably the word I'm used for. He doesn't do anything by accident. But that being said, he's still a young head coach, right? I mean, this is a dude that hasn't turned 40 yet. You talk about having gray hair. Notre Dame football head coach, that puts gray hairs on your head, but he still isn't having it yet. Trust me, they're coming. But he's just a guy that kind of fits the role, even though he's never been a head coach before. And I'll be honest, everything about him when he was the defensive coordinator screamed, this guy is going to be a phenomenal head coach someday. But I wasn't necessarily convinced that he was going to be the guy that they promoted, just because Notre Dame football is not a job that you give to a first-time guy. They've done it a couple of times before, and it's been a colossal failure every single time they've done it. There are just certain things you need to learn on a job, at any job, right? And when you're a head football coach, the fishbowl that is Notre Dame is not the place to be making first-time mistakes. Now, Marcus made a few of those mistakes last year, and everybody saw him, but he seemed to learn from his mistakes really quickly, and that's because he's a humble guy. He's not a guy that stands up there and pretends he's got all the answers, and I haven't seen him get outworked by anybody. On top of that, like I said, he's got a really great personality, seems to take things in stride. So far, so good, but we're 1 year and one game into this thing, so eventually adversity is going to strike, and how he responds to that'll be telling, you know?
Very telling, very telling. Now, Pete, I appreciate your time both on television and on radio here, but I have to ask you a question. I just gotta go here, Pete. Notre Dame, last national championship in 1988. And I know there's been some talk, they have unclaimed national championships in 93 and 2012 and all of that. But it's been a long time.
Alabama, more, yeah.
Well, yeah, if you want to go the Alabama route, Alabama has, whatever it is, 21 national champions. Absolutely. Yeah. And they claim every one of them, and they would argue to the death over every single one of them. However, but it's does it stick with the fan base that they have not won a national champ? Is it part of the conversation? Because for Notre Dame, since there is no conference championship to hold on to, it's not like, well, they've got 12 Big Ten championships. Well, no, there's no Big Ten. So what is a championship season for this football team? And have they just not had one since, the late 1980s? And how does the fan base deal with that?
Yeah, that's exactly how they look like it, that they haven't had a championship season since 1988. They've had a handful of close calls. I think the older fan base is a lot more upset about it than the younger fan base. I mean, you'll go around and you'll listen to guys who are probably now retired talk about how they were in the 60s and the 70s, and they literally think that they should be able to win it one out of every 3 years. I mean, that's ludicrous, right? I mean, it's just not realistic. But I mean, what I always try to say, and I graduated from there in '99, so I mean, I've seen a lot of football there, but I'm somewhere between old and young, right? You got to be in the conversation first, right? And this is a team that's been in the conversation a lot the last half decade or so.
Yes, sir.
The full decade, right? I mean, they played in the championship game in 12. They went to the playoffs in 18. They went to the playoffs in 20. They finished 5th in 21. And then their coach left, the 5th-place team. He's the only guy to ever leverage Notre Dame for a quote-unquote better job. Never happened before. And so now Marcus, he goes 9-4 in his first year, beats the top 5 team. They look like they're pretty good this year. I mean, the only way for this team to be a national champion is go 11-1 at worst against that schedule, and then win 2 playoff games, right? I mean, that's really, really difficult to do. And if they don't do that, Notre Dame fans won't consider this a championship team or a championship season. But 2 things can be true. They can not be national champions, and they can also be really, really, really good, right? I mean, sign me up for 11-1 and a playoff semifinal loss right now, right? I mean, who wouldn't take that? There's only 4 or 5 schools in the country that would consider that a failure.
That is true. There's no doubt about it.
That is true.
Pete, appreciate the visit. We're looking forward to the game tomorrow. It's going to be a cool experience, and of course, you can hear it here on these airwaves and watch it on NBC. Pete, thanks for the visit as always.
Thank you, sir, Pete. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a good weekend.
Yep, you too. Pete Byrne in South Bend, WSBT, the CBS affiliate there. Remember, TSU and Notre Dame kick off at 2:30 tomorrow. 1:30, that's when the coverage begins here on Nashville Sports Radio. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600 is the number. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. We can talk with you. We can do that next.
And now Hunter D Property Solutions is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Visit DAV.org and consider donating to the disabled U.S. veterans who need our help. This message is brought to you by Hunter D Property Solutions. Family owned for over 3 years. For residential remodeling, painting, and landscaping, or for buying homes from distressed owners going into foreclosure, give the pros a call today at 931-624-4077. Hunter D Property Solutions. They're professionals who care.
Post-COVID travel is on a surge. Many of you are traveling for fun because you've been locked up for 2 years. Listen, whether you're traveling for fun to Italy, Greece, Spain, France, or somewhere else fun in the world, or USA, now is a great time to book before the crowds hit and save. Plus, with a strong U.S. dollar, you'll get more travel bang for your buck. Right now is a smart time to make your reservations and call low-cost airlines. With one phone call, you can let let us do all the work for free. We'll shop hundreds of airlines, hotels, resorts, and give you a way to save huge money on your vacation plans. And if you call right now, we'll give you a free hotel room with a qualified travel purchase. So call right now.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find. I like this flavored gin, but want something new? You'll love this one. Wow! Oh, you're good. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21.
TSU Tigers football is back. The TSU Tigers kick off their 2023 season with a historic trip to South Bend to take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. You can hear every play called by Hall of Famer Greg Pogue Saturday afternoon at 2:30 right here on Nashville's home for TSU Tigers football. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
The Tigers roar on WNSR. Forecast.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today is going to be partly sunny with a high of 86. Partly cloudy tonight, the low 68. Saturday is going to be a sunny day, high 88. Sunny Sunday, high 92. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Renaud.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Indeed you are. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Our buddy Kevin down in Florida texted in. This is going back to the first segment and said, that was a pity touchdown for Florida. That's why they called that. Which clearly he is does not mind piling on Florida.
Listen, Florida jumped on a lot of people for a few decades.
Yes, they did.
Running up the score and doing a whole bunch of stuff. So, now is that time. Is that time, for them to hear about it now. So,
that's true. Look, when you've done a lot of winning, and then when you're down, people are going to jump on you, man. They're going to dogpile you.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it works. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's start with Eric. Eric, what's up?
First of all, Darren, Justin, hope both of y'all and hope all the listeners have a great, safe, happy Labor Day weekend. Just enjoy yourself, but just be careful out there. Couple of things, guys. First of all, guys, I am going to a high school football game tonight, guys. I haven't been to one in about 7-8 years, and it's a pretty good one. 2-0 Siegel against 2-0 Hillsboro. And what's the significance of that game is this. I've got a couple I go to church with whose son plays for Siegel, and a bunch of people at church are going, they're all going to be cheering for Siegel. And, of course, people that know me know I graduated from Hillsboro High School, so I can't cheer against my alma mater. So I'm going to be sitting with them in the opposing section, but it's just going to be difficult. I'm hoping for a good ball game, but it's just going to be tough for me.
Why don't you just do the half and half shirt, Eric? Half Hillsboro, half Siegel.
I don't know if I have one of those, but that still may not be work, but I'll be sitting in a bunch of Siegel people, so. But also shout out to Matthew Jackson, who made the Tennessee Titans, who graduated from Hillsboro. So I'm
awesome.
Real happy about that. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, guys.
Great story.
But, yeah. But anyway, a couple other things, guys. One, I think the Titans, I think their guys are going to be a little bit better than people think. Now, whether or not that means they're going to win the division, I don't know. we'll have to wait and see with that because certainly you got Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, and of course Doug Peterson with Jacksonville. But Titans' easier schedule may help them, but there's no such thing as an easy schedule. But I think the Titans are going to be a little bit better. But I agree, only one team is going to go to that division, so we'll wait and see what happens, guys, on that. And as far as the college football this weekend, well, I'm hoping that both MTSU and TSU can be respectable. I think MTSU has got a shot to keep it within the spread. I don't know about TSU playing at Notre Dame. That's going to be tough. So, but we'll see what happens, guys. But overall, those are just my thoughts. Guys, y'all take care. Have a great weekend. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Eric. You too. Yeah, MTSU, for people who don't know, is down in Tuscaloosa to start their season at Alabama.
Yeah. You know, I had a conversation with Joe Dubin a little bit earlier today, and he was telling me that, you know, they're taking the same mentality as they took versus Miami, you know, last year when they were able to upset them. Now, Miami and Alabama are not quite the same program, but, you know, I get the sentiment.
In fairness, nobody was giving MTSU a shot last year, and they went down there and beat up on the Hurricanes.
Yes, they did. And they've got 8 returning starters on defense who have that kind of experience to beat a team like that. So they think they may have enough muscle to stay in it, but we'll see.
Well, listen, if Rick Stockstill and the Blue Raiders go down there and pull off the upset, you know what the narrative will be all next week. All over the country.
That Nick Saban is finished?
Yeah. No, I'm serious. You know how this works.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's of course. That's why you knew that.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this before the show.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be Nick Saban's done. He's old. The game's passed him by.
Yep.
You know, he's done.
Now
Alabama, the dynasty's done.
MTSU at home,
Yeah. But, I mean, look, I don't think that's going to happen. But, again, to what you just said, nobody thought that MTSU was going to go down there and beat Miami, Florida last year either, and they did it pretty easily.
Well, I will say this. Coach Stockstill for MTSU has never been one to talk as if he's just happy to be there whenever they have these games. And they have played big boys
they're money
a lot
games.
over the
Let's
years.
call it what it is. They're money games. MTSU has to do that.
They have played a lot of money games over the years. And Coach Stockstill has always talked with confidence and swagger into each one of these games. It's not the typical, we're going to go down there and give our team a chance to play and, we're going to try to learn some things. Like, no, that's not the way he does any of that. It's always, we're there to win. We're there to win these games. We're there to give them everything. And if anybody's overlooking us, it's a mistake. That's the kind of attitude that he's got.
Sure. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Bill. Bill, you're up next. Welcome in.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, don't forget that, Coach Stockstill and his bunch went to the Big House and played a competitive game against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And they've beaten Georgia Tech. I mean, they've had some nice wins over the years.
They've had some nice wins. And the other narrative, Darren, you can throw in there about if the upset were to occur was, well, Coach Saban should have started Jaden Milroe from the beginning.
Right.
Because he's the other guy who's supposed to be just a great athlete, but doesn't have quite what they're looking for yet.
Yeah.
And I say yet.
And Bill, real quick, they're going to have to do things differently this year because they don't have a Bryce Young, and they're going to have to do things differently. They're still going to win a lot of games, but they're going to have to do it different than what they were doing with Bryce Young.
Oh, true. Absolutely. Wouldn't surprise me if they went back to
the whole running, right?
3 yards, yards, and a cloud of dust.
Yes, sir. My guess is they're probably going to – those running backs are going to get a heavy workload.
Yes. Now, what I wanted to ask is I was probably a little late to the barn dance on this, but give me your thoughts on what you guys saw with Florida last night.
Okay.
If he's got if they don't perform well against McNeese, which is their next game, and it's a home game, and then, of course, they have to play Tennessee, Coach Napier could have a large problem.
He's already got a huge problem.
Yeah, I'm about to say, there's no could.
He's already, and that was pretty pathetic last night. I mean, they were not even competitive, in my opinion. Utah was the much better team, and look, Utah's got a great program. Kyle Whittingham is a great coach, but make no mistake about it. Florida is not supposed to look silly against Utah, okay? That's not how they operate down in Gainesville. And they got beat up last night, and their offense looks absolutely pathetic. I mean, they couldn't do anything. And I know it's the first game of the season, so maybe you chalk it up to that, but that leash is going to be pretty short with Billy Napier. If they don't get things turned around, don't forget last year they went 6-7 in his first year. If they have another 6-win season, Billy's going to be looking to go back to Louisiana.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact they got embarrassed in the bowl game.
Yes, and that too.
Yeah. A lot of youth can be part of that. I mean, the kid that went for caught the punt inside the 5 or inside the 10-yard line.
Oh my gosh!
Not to mention the 2 number 3s on the field that gave Utah, I think, gave them a touchdown. And something that I'm not a big Herb Street guy, but something he says is, yes, Florida's got size, but he didn't see that quick twitch factor that you've seen out of Florida teams before.
You know what else they need to work on, Bill? They need to work on illegal formations. Because how many times did they call them for illegal formation?
Yeah.
Golly, man. It was like, okay, one time, but like, how many more times are you going to keep doing this? Bill,
it was bad.
Appreciate the phone call. Have a great weekend.
You guys have a happy holiday weekend, too. Bye-bye.
Yep, you do the same. We will not have a show on Monday, so we will be back on the air Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Kenny, if you'll hang with us, we'll get you on the other side. We'll come back and close out hour number 1 next.
Are you ready for a touchdown of flavor and excitement? Look no further than Sam's Place and Sam's Sports Grill, the ultimate destination for great food, fantastic drinks, and game time atmosphere that will have you cheering for more. Sam's is the place for every sports fan and food lover with over 40 TVs at every location. Sam's has a family-friendly atmosphere where everyone can have a blast. From their friendly staff to awesome kids menu, they've got something for everyone. Online at samsplace.net or samsportsgrill.com, or call and find the nearest location to you. At Sam's, the game is always on and the fun never stops.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. That's 800-413-3953.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack or the world famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
It's a Bill King Show.
Lake Norman Buckeye. Bill, will Saban actually coach that 24 quarterback? At some point, he's got to hang it up. Nothing lasts forever. I want to repeat, Nick Saban is doing his favorite thing right now. He's not trying to get to a moment in life to where he can go sit on the beach.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Good music bringing us back. Let's get in Kenny the mailman before we get out of here in this first hour. Kenny, what's up?
Hello, fellas. I just want to let you know I am so thankful and glad Jerry Jones runs the Dallas Cowboys because it reminds me of Mr. Magoo running the Manhattan Project.
Wow, we should have brought you on right after Eric.
Man.
We should have brought Kenny on right after Eric so Eric could hear that.
Mr. Magoo running the Manhattan Project.
Yeah. Trading for Trey Lance might have been a good move at the start of training camp. But first of all, I didn't even bother to tell his coach. Brings him in right before the season starts. Now they're going to have to carry 3 quarterbacks. Yeah. He's not ready to be their backup. And then on top of that, Jerry starts saying, we'd have took Jalen Hurts if we could have had him. I sure did like him. I want him. That's like, my wife, Babette, had 3 proposals of marriage before me that fell through. But she's smart enough not to bring that up. What's she bringing up?
Jeez.
Kenny's on a roll
So,
today. By the way,
I love Jerry Jones running it.
By the way, we would remind him that he also liked Johnny Manziel, too.
He did.
Yes. I like him, too. We'll see you later.
See you, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
Man.
Kenny
is ready for the weekend.
Kenny came in with a chair from the back. And
just a flamethrower.
Just came in with the chair and cleared the ring.
This was.
What is that?
I mean, this was WWE right here. This was SummerSlam.
I mean, like
just
Sting from the Raptors with the bat and just cleared the ring out. Like what? We were having a normal show. Then here comes Kenny.
That was a cage match? Wasn't
Man
it?
just woke up with violence on his mind.
Man,
chose violence, came in. Jeez, man.
I wonder how Eric feels. I wonder if Eric heard that call.
What did the Cowboys do to Kenny? Did I miss something? Is there a backstory? I don't know.
We can talk about the Trey Lance trade, though, a little bit more on the
That's
other side
fine,
if you want.
But I don't know how much we're going to say after Kenny. What are we going to say? And the impersonations, I can't top that.
No,
Can you?
I can't either, no.
All right, then.
No.
Maybe not then.
Good way to end the first hour. We'll come back. We'll try to have a good second hour. We'll do that next.
560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Alexis Christoforous. In Ohio, police body cam video released today by Blendon Township Police showing the encounter between black pregnant driver Takia Young and 2 officers who wanted to question the shoplifting suspect. The video shows officers trying to question her, and Young starts to drive forward and allegedly hit the officer, who then fired a shot at the windshield, killing her. ABC News analyst Bernarda Villalona viewed the tape and says questions remain.
Where was the officer exactly at the moment where Miss Young accelerated her vehicle? And did she accelerate after or before he actually went in front of this vehicle?
Ohio State investigators are in charge of the probe. President Biden touted the latest jobs report with 187,000 added in August. The president says it shows the resilience of the U.S. economy in the wake of the pandemic. This is ABC News.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with the IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras,
Make it a double.
all on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half a Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only, get one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Welcome back to Total Wine. What brings you in today?
Hey, Ruthie. I need help filling the ultimate beach cooler.
Well, we have the most hard seltzers and amazing canned cocktails anywhere, like High Noon, Cutwater, White Claw, Truly, Topo Chico, Jack Daniels and Coke, Neutral Vodka Seltzer, and Cayman Jack Zero Sugar Margarita in cans.
Wow. I'm going to be the king of the cooler.
And we have them at the lowest prices in town. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Listen,
You can't handle the truth.
it's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Oh, righty there.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour here on this Friday afternoon. Hope everybody's getting geared up and ready for the weekend. Tonight
Absolutely.
here on these airwaves, Nashville Christian and BGA.
Okay.
That's going to get all the sports action going tonight on the high school level.
Nashville Christian against Battleground Academy.
Battleground Academy.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Hold on a second. That's where I went to school. BGA. Battleground Academy.
No, you're not doing that right now.
Okay, well, I mean, he went to BGA. And Nashville Christian.
Okay.
Everybody knows who that was.
Okay.
Sure. It's not the best. Like, Kevin Ingram does it better.
Kevin Ingram's got a good one, but
He does it better. But Nashville Christian and BGA. Joe Fisher, I swear to you, you know what I just about said? I don't even know where this came from. Maybe because we were talking about Notre Dame. I about said John Dwyer.
John Dwyer. No.
I don't know why.
Not John Dwyer.
Joe Fisher is going to be on the call tonight with Jonathan Schaefer.
Jonathan Schaefer.
Man, this is a shaky.
And John Dwyer.
I think Kenny has rocked me. I'm just
still recovering from that chair shot.
Clearly, I still am kind of messed up from the Kenny call. I can't spit anything out.
And just wreck shop all of a sudden.
I know. I'm afraid if I keep messing up, he's going to call back and rip on me. I'm going to become the Jerry Jones to him.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if you can do to him whatever Jerry Jones did to make him, go off like that. Man, that's rough stuff.
So after the high school game, Nashville Christian and BGA, it's going to be the Braves and the Dodgers. Great series going on.
Yeah.
Last night, the Braves beat the Dodgers 8-7. That game tonight, first pitch, I think, is at 9:10.
Okay.
So after the high school game, we'll get you to Braves-Dodgers. So a great sports lineup tonight here on these airwaves. Nashville Christian and BGA, followed by Braves-Dodgers. Last night, Ronald Acuna, by the way, he got married, and then he went out and hit a grand slam.
Nice.
And then went out and became the first player to have 30 home runs and 60 stolen bases.
Wow.
In Major League Baseball history. Quite a day for him.
That's impressive.
And Mookie Betts continues to stay red hot, and I mean blazing hot. And I think it's turning into a 2-player race for the MVP, and it's those two.
Well,
I don't think really anybody else is in the picture, in my opinion.
Obviously, Mookie's been down this road before, and once you get one, to me, it becomes easier to get another one because people are already thinking of you in a certain way. So it'd be awesome for Mookie Betts and awesome for this area as well. Anybody connected to Mookie Betts and baseball here would just be outstanding. And really, Darren, if you do that again, then you're aiming towards what could be a serious Hall of Fame career now, not just a good career, like a Hall of Fame career for Mookie Betts if he's able to pull that off, which would really be special. I mean, it's special as it is, but when you do that, that's rare air if you're able to pull that off.
I would agree. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, Mookie had, by the way, happy September to everybody. I don't know if a lot of people know we're in September.
Yes, there was a change.
Crazy.
There was a change in month overnight.
Crazy.
Yes.
Mookie Betts is not happy to see September. I don't know. Maybe he will be because his August was disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, you talking about volcano hot at the plate. Mookie Betts was volcano hot at the plate.
Without
he
question.
had an unbelievable month, which again, he was not in the MVP discussion. And that month just put him in the MVP discussion. And I don't think he's not only in the discussion, like I said, I think it's down to Betts and Acuna.
Yeah. He's hitting 317 right now is where he is. He's hitting 317. And, his numbers are doing fine. 38 home runs, 98 RBIs, and we still got a full month to go.
You think that's okay?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
38 homers and 98 RBIs.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
We just started September.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And again, he's already got one MVP. He's got 7 All-Stars, 2 World Series with 2 different teams, okay? 5 Silver Slugger awards, 6 Gold Gloves, and a batting title. If you add another MVP to that, and by the way, wouldn't that be an MVP in 2 different leagues at this point? Because his last MVP came with Boston. Yes, it did. In 2018. So this would be with the Dodgers. He would win an MVP. So he's got MVPs in 2 different leagues. That's Cooperstown-esque if it's not putting you there. It's getting you real close.
Yep, I would agree. By the way, our buddy Justin Mello.
Yeah.
Switching gears.
Yeah.
He's back at it again.
What's he got this time?
No, it wasn't at the level of cut down day and getting to 53.
Yeah.
But he did send me a tweet this morning.
Okay.
This morning, early.
Okay.
And he said, I'm being told that the Titans are going to add Justin Murray, the big offensive tackle, to their practice squad. Remember, he was waived on Thursday.
Yes.
From the 53-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, let's see, I think it was right before the show.
It was.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Or I guess it was early afternoon. It was before the show. The Titans made it official. They have signed Justin Murray to the practice squad. He sent me that tweet about 4 hours before the Titans announced it.
Yeah. Good reporting and well-placed sources are.
I was just say we talked about it when we had Justin on. When was that? Wednesday, right? Justin was on Wednesday.
Cut down was on Tuesday, so yeah, Wednesday.
I think it was Wednesday, yeah. And we told him, he crushed it. He didn't get anything wrong.
No, which is the key thing.
And the reality is we've both have known great people that cover teams, and you're going to miss unless you have rock solid
and
sources or a
jumping
source
out there. If you're going to jump out there, you're going to
you're getting fed information
Sure.
from inside.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Because he's He's just absolutely all over it.
Yeah. He's got whoever he's got, and, and people who are following him and are reaping the benefits because you're finding out information clearly that he's getting a tip on. So, and that's not easy to get. He says he worked 7 years. And listen, we've had Jim Wyatt on this program several times. You and I both know that Jim Wyatt was, crushing it, covering the Titans for a long time for the Tennessean, to the point to where the Titans just hired him. So
when they hired him at the time, he's been gone a good while now.
Yeah.
I said it on air. I said that's the best move the Titans have made in a long time. Was getting Jim Wyatt off the beat and putting him on their payroll. I'm serious. And remember the timeline.
We both love Jim. We love Jim.
They were like, things were down.
Love Jim.
And I was like, that's the best. That's the smartest move the Titans have made in a long time.
Man. Because that sealed up the boat there for a little bit.
Because, man, he got a lot of stuff out there that they did not want out on his watch.
Yeah, he was digging at it. And so, who knows how this thing, and congratulations to Justin Mello, and it's his season right now. So we'll see what else he's got as we get closer and closer to opening day next Sunday.
Well, hold on. It's not next Sunday. Well, for them, yes.
For them it is,
That's what I was going to say.
For the Titans
For the season.
No.
By the way, we're 6 days away.
Yes, we are.
From the NFL season beginning.
Let's get it going.
6 days away.
Lions, Chiefs.
In Arrowhead.
In
next
Arrowhead.
Thursday.
Yes, sir. They raise the banner, then they kick it off.
Which I do think is an interesting way to start off the season. I like that.
With the Lions, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
what they've been doing is
yeah,
they've usually been trying to put together maybe a conference championship game rematch.
Yeah.
Right?
Like they would bring in the Bengals or the Bills or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
normally.
Yeah, this one's a little bit different. A couple years ago, wasn't it like the Bucks and the Cowboys? It was a great game.
I thought they did a straight
right
up
after the Bucks won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't they do a Super Bowl rematch one year?
Yeah,
where they did.
So they've tried to have
game one was the Super Bowl rematch from the year before
to kick off the season. Yes, that's what I was getting at. But this one's a little bit obviously a little bit different.
Yeah,
like
off the beaten path a little bit.
It's like defending champs and a sexy pick.
Yeah,
How about that?
Yeah, a dark horse here for a lot of people. I guess they've moved out of that category, though.
They're not dark horse. I think they're a sexy pick by a lot of people.
Sexy pick.
I think the Jags, the Lions, and the Jets.
And the Jets
would be kind of like the sexy picks, like teams that normally are never picked to be good, and they're being picked to be good. Is that fair?
No, that's fair. That's fair. And they haven't been good in a long time. Like really, really good. They have not been really, really good in a long time.
Yeah. So, I think that's fair to say. And so it'll be, I've said it a lot this offseason. As high as I was on them last year when they were playing really well after they got up to the slow start, I'm not exactly, propping them up yet. I need to see it. I need to see how they're going to handle expectations.
Yeah.
The Lions have always been like, what do we have to lose? What pressure is on us? Nobody thinks anything of us.
No.
Other than they think we're losers.
Yeah.
So what pressure is that?
Well, they had Dan Campbell, talking about biting people's kneecaps off.
There was that.
And all of that. And people thought, it was sort of a joke of a hire, or at least people were questioning that.
No question.
And then it did not go well out the gate.
Nope.
And people were like, yep, there it goes.
That's the Lions.
That's them. They fired Matt Patricia, and then they hire this guy, and, away they go. But, down the stretch last year, they started to play really good football. They found some things that were working for them. They couldn't quite make the playoffs there at the end, but they got really, really close, and they feel like, they can build off of last season. The problem is everybody's a year older, and you've had a year of off-season for film study. You got your people sitting in your division watching these games, identifying people, and we'll see, again, if they've got another level to step up to try and continue what they've done, because that's what they need. They need a new level here, because they keep coming back with what they had last year. It's not going to cut it.
They need their defense to be better, because I question, can they really look that good consecutive years on offense? Their offense was really good last year.
Yeah.
can their defense be a lot better? Because I don't think the offense is going to be the same as last year. It's just not. Like that's like you have to have, to me, like Jared Goff's a good quarterback, but you have to have like the Mahomes. You have to have this certain level of guy that Jared Goff is not in. Just know that you can repeat it. Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Those guys, they can keep coming back with the same offense every year, or it looks the same.
Yeah.
Because of them.
Yeah.
But can Detroit do that? I say probably not. But can their defense get a whole lot better? Yes.
Yeah.
They can get a whole lot better.
No, they can find another level here.
All right, let's quickly get in Tony, and then we're going to head to Indy after the break. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys,
Hey,
and I hope everybody has a good, safe, long weekend. I'll throw it out there early before we get off. But y'all were talking on the Mookie Betts, and y'all touched on a lot of the aspects of what's making him be Mookie. But last night, one of the more intriguing statistics, records that they mentioned to me was on the historic Dodger history of the L.A. Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers, and all. There's only been 3 players ever to have 50 hits or more in a month, and last night he became the 3rd player to do it, joining Jackie Robinson and I believe a guy named Green. I can't.
Sean Green. Sean Green.
Yeah. The only 50 hits, actually had 51 or 52, and 2 home runs last night.
I know.
He and 11 home runs for the month. I mean,
he's insane.
Just, his bat is blazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's blazing. And he's really had a, this is a lifetime month of baseball that he'll remember forever. Guys, I was also watching the Cubs today, and of course they took care of business again and put another notch between them and the Reds. The Reds, I think they're falling. Darren, I think they're history. I really think they're on their heels right now.
Well, they're playing a doubleheader today, so we'll see how game 2 goes.
They got another one this evening. But in the commercial, guys, there's a commercial called about the College Football Hall of Fame. It talks about being, visiting. You know who's in the commercial? The Austin Peay football team.
Oh, really?
Scotty Weldon and Gerald Harrison is seen in this commercial as they're entering the college football. Do you think they got paid on their name, image, and likeness?
I don't know. Good question.
I don't know about that.
But it is. I happened to catch this the other night, and I thought, well, did I see it one night? And I ran it back and then I saw it again today, and it reminded me of that. And I thought, how great this is. But it's Austin Peay's football team entering, but it's Scotty Weldon and Gerald Harrison, the AD and head coach, respectively, at the at Austin Peay. So I thought that's pretty good. And one other thing, mentioned a little bit, y'all might have talked about this, but to see the all-red turnout at Nebraska's football stadium the other night of 92,000 fans witnessing the volleyball team of Nebraska, the ranked number 3 or 4 in the country, played against Omaha, and they wanted to break the all-time record for attendance for a women's sporting event, and they did it.
Yep.
They had 92,000 people at this. They closed school, Justin.
Yes,
they
sir.
Closed school.
Yes, sir.
And had volleyball day.
Yep.
How dare them to do something like that?
They did. Tony, we appreciate it, but we got to run to the break.
Have a great weekend,
You
guys.
too.
Enjoy it.
Yep, they broke the old record of the Women World Cup Finals.
Yes.
And it was amazing. It was an amazing 92,000 at Memorial Stadium to watch
really incredible
a volleyball match against Omaha.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, we'll come back. We'll head to Indianapolis. Bob Kravitz. We'll talk about the Colts. What is going on with them? What to expect this year in the AFC South? We'll do that next year on the McFarland Show.
Trusted for creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile, Jody Jones Dentistry for 26 years has provided a wide range of general and cosmetic dentistry services along Nashville's Music Row and coming soon to Hermitage and Murfreesboro. The Nashville leader for cosmetic dentistry provides a unique luxury environment for patients who want his famous Hollywood smile. Just ask the country music stars, actors, athlete. Yeah, he was 8 years the dentist for the Predators who display his celebrity smile. To learn more, visit JodyJonesDDS.com or call 615-259-5100.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-898-6155 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-898-6155. That's 800-898-6155. What do you have to lose? Call 800-898-6155. Again, 800-898-6155.
Just because you can't see it or smell it, radon gas is everywhere. Caused by natural radioactive decay, it is the leading cause of lung cancer in women, children, and non-smoking men. And with Davidson County homes testing higher than the national average, now is the time for radon testing. Radon Mitigation is Nashville's licensed and NRPP certified radon mitigation company who can test your home, install systems, and maintain continuous meters for daily readouts on their simple-to-use app. Or you can test at home yourself by picking up one of the free DIY at-home test kits. Let Alex and his team at Radon Mitigation make your home a clean air home. Give them a call today at 931-47-RADON. That's 931-477-2366. Or online at ChooseRadont.com. That's ChooseRadont.com.
Hey, I'm Alex with Radon Mitigation. Proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves on WNSR.
RPG came through the belly of the aircraft. We don't talk about the female combat wounded. These are our daughters and our sisters and our mothers. Wounded Warrior Project came into my life and taught me how to stand back up and get back in the fight. The truth is, I think we all have this strength inside of us, but until you're tested, you just don't know it's there.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Beth by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
DeAndre Hopkins is now a member of the Tennessee Titans, and so Mike Vrabel can do his, see, I told you we weren't done.
And Mike and Rand Carson both.
Yeah.
They both said that the free agency acquisition period is not over. One guy on this team makes a big difference in how this team looks and feels.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Rolling along on this Friday afternoon, Darren and Justin here with you. We are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Let's go to that phone line. Let's bring in Bob Kravitz up in Indianapolis. Been covering the Colts for a long time now, doing stuff with Substack, and he now joins us. Bob, how we doing?
I'm doing great, gentlemen. How are you?
Well, we're doing better than it looked like Chris Ballard was doing in his press conference the other day. He looked a little, I don't know, looked like maybe he's at his wit's end dealing with Jim Irsay. I don't know. You tell us what your takeaways were.
Well, I think this whole process is driving him crazy. He's trying to build a team around Anthony Richardson, but don't get the idea that this is a Jim Irsay production and Chris Ballard is just doing his bidding for him. I mean, Chris, from every indication that I get, Chris is on board with playing this the way they are. So this is not, Chris just kind of talking on behalf of Irsay. So I just think that he's changed his philosophy a little bit. I think Shane Steichen has something to do with it. I think the Steichen offense, the feeling is that you can put a plug-and-play running back in there, and they'll be fine. They did that last year with Miles Sanders, who went for 1,200 yards in Philadelphia, and then they got rid of him at the end of the year. So I think they feel like they can put just about any Tom, Dick, or Harry back there and be successful in the running game. So I just think it's wearing them out. And, the fact that you've had all these ridiculous comments and tweets, both from Irsay and from Jonathan Taylor and his agent, Malki Kawa, I think he's trying to calm the waters, but good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to calm. So yeah, okay, I understand. I know what they did in Philadelphia, but they didn't have a Jonathan Taylor type. I mean, I guess I'm just a little bit surprised. I understand that it was the offseason about running backs, Bob. I mean, Dalvin Cook is now in New York with the Jets, and we all know that Vegas is running back, just the guy who led the league in rushing. He's just got back into the fold, and everything was going on with the Giants. But still, again, you have a Jonathan Taylor and what he did 2 years ago. I don't know. I was just a little perplexed of how this thing got off the rails, what seemed like pretty quickly.
It did. And I think the big issue is the market for running backs, as you mentioned, is really depressed. They've been devalued pretty significantly. And I think Ballard looks at it. He has signed a lot of players to extensions in non-essential positions, like off-ball linebacker with Shaq Leonard, like left guard with Quentin Nelson. And I think there's a feeling around the league that running backs aren't that important. Of course, you're in Tennessee, so that's not necessarily the case. They are very important, but I think it's a sign of a philosophical change that they're going to spend their money on people who can score touchdowns and get the quarterback. And and I think part of it is Jim Irsay, who sort of fancies himself as the modern day George Halas. He doesn't. He doesn't want to get the side eye from other owners for resetting the running back market. So I think there's a lot of factors that enter into this.
What? Modern day George? Did you mention Papa Bear just now?
Yeah. He thinks he invented football at the Hupmobile dealership. So, but he's the longest tenured owner in the National Football League. And ever since he came out with the Daniel Snyder comments, and everybody said, "Oh, look at Jim Irsay, he's the conscience of the NFL." He loved that. And ever since then, he's been way too involved in the daily maneuverings of the Colts. He's always been involved, but he's never been a guy who overstepped his bounds. The last year and a half, he has clearly overstepped his bounds. He's not been a very good owner.
We thought we were trying to connect the dots, because rarely do you see general managers get up there and this sucks and that sucks. And, it just was weird to hear from an NFL general manager. But we started kind of doing the timeline, and you're the perfect guy you've lived it, Bob. I mean, you've been covering this team for a long time. And, in like this last 5-year window, really since Chris Ballard's been the GM, you had a top 3 quarterback in the league, a franchise quarterback in Andrew Luck, who just got up right before the season and said, "Okay, I'm done. Peace out.
Right.
Deuces. We'll see ya." You've had Jim Irsay's stuff. You've had the gambling stuff. You've had, the quarterback shuffle every year of Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz and all that. We just started going through all this stuff that's happened on Chris Ballard's watch, and it's like, is he having a meltdown? Is he just at his, at the end of just how many more things can keep happening?
I think he's a survivor more than anything else. Look, he had no interest in bringing Jeff Saturday in last year.
Oh yeah, on that one too.
Yeah, don't forget the Jeff Saturday fiasco. I think he's burned out a little bit. But I still think he's got at least 2 years left in him. He's got 3 years on his contract, but he's got 2 years to show some growth with the quarterback. Look, he's had the Andrew Luck get-out-of-jail-free card now for, 5 years, 6 years? They've had a different quarterback every year. Hopefully that carousel has ended. But honestly, it's been an absolute clown show around here. Mostly initiated by the owner, and he's a really good dude, and I'm telling you. But when he gets involved, weird things happen. And while I love that he talks to the media all the time, he needs to shut up. He really does, and let Chris Ballard be the voice of the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I think that horse has left the barn, and it may be on another state. I don't think that horse is coming back.
No, I don't think.
I don't think he knows how to do that.
No, I think he likes it.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, I know it's training camp, it's preseason, and I don't know how much you guys get, but what is your just overall impressions? And he's still, by the way, he just turned 21. He can just go to a bar. Anthony Richardson, what do you make of what you've seen so far?
Yeah, very impressed. He's been impressive. He hasn't put up great numbers in the preseason, but his pocket, his poise, his ability to navigate the pocket, his throwing arm. I mean, he just throws a seed, and you see all the raw material there for a really good quarterback, but man, it's going to take a couple of years. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if the Colts won more than 3 or 4 games this year, because not only do they have the young quarterback who's played 13 games in college, but they're weak in so many areas, have no depth in so many areas. Now you take Jonathan Taylor out of the equation. This is just a bad football team. But I think that for Ballard specifically, I think he gets a 2-year grace period to see if he can build a franchise or rebuild a franchise that, around a quarterback. They were pretty good when Andrew Luck was playing and healthy. Since then, obviously they haven't won the AFC South since Ballard has been there, and that's got to change here in the next couple of years, or he's going to be looking for a job.
Bob, very interested in your perspective on this question. Who is the Colts' biggest division rival?
Biggest division rival? I would have to say Tennessee.
Okay.
I'd have to say Tennessee. Yeah. Houston hasn't been good in forever. Jacksonville, had its moments. Obviously, they're back, but no, frankly, I think the Tennessee Titans are probably their primary rival in the AFC South.
Yeah, it was on the wire for me with them in Jacksonville, because I'm always interested in how other fan bases see us here and how we see them. Jacksonville is still mad about 99, Bob. We found out recently. And,
they'll get over it.
We haven't thought, no, they won't, Bob. No, because we're in 2023 and they haven't gotten over it yet, Bob. I don't think they're going to. So, it's just one of those things. But I'm always curious about how the other fan bases believe if they should be better or worse, or a lot of people don't take the Titans seriously because of the quarterback situation, and they don't take Ryan Tannehill seriously. And what is the view from a Colts fan about the Titans?
Well, I know that it drives Jim Irsay crazy that Mike Vrabel, who was the guy that he wanted to hire, is having such great success in Tennessee. I think you've got a really terrific top-tier head coach. I'm a bigger Tannehill fan than most people. I still think you can. Now, can you win a Super Bowl with them? No, I don't believe you can. But, I mean, they got a lot of the other pieces. I think they're extraordinarily well coached. I think Tannehill can get you to the playoffs. How much further he can take you is the open question.
When you say that he wanted to hire Mike Vrabel, when's the time for it? When he was?
Oh, it was. I think. Excuse me if I'm mistaken here. My memory is kind of fuzzy, but I think it was after McDaniel turned down the Colts at the last second. They ended up going for Reich, but he was definitely one of the candidates and they didn't get him for whatever reason. I don't know if that was their call or Mike's call, but he was definitely somebody that they have been interested in the past. And I know that Irsay has said to Ballard and to Frank Reich, tell me when you're getting tired of getting your ass kicked by Mike Vrabel.
Oh,
he so
it's like that. Okay,
it's like that exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
that definitely paints a picture.
Yeah. Okay, kind of let you in there about how that feels. I wanted to ask you off the beaten path of the Colts a little bit here, Bob, and something you have deep perspective on. As you know, we've announced that here in Nashville, they're getting ready to break ground on a brand new $1 billion stadium down here at Dome Stadium. What has Lucas Oil Stadium done for the city of Indianapolis as a venue?
Financially, I've never been one who believes that football stadiums rebuild a portion of the downtown area where it's located, because you're only talking about 8-9 home games.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still not a ton of bars and restaurants in the Lucas Oil area. I mean, it's nice. It's just not built up. I think if you want to build up your neighborhood, you need a baseball stadium, or you need a hockey or a basketball arena where you have numerous dates. But football, I don't know that it's had that much economic impact. I'm sure it has at some level. Look, it's a great venue. People love going there. It's been great for the city psychologically to have one of the best stadiums in the league. Of course, now it's going to be one of the oldest stadiums in the league.
Yeah.
You look at all the new ones going online, but yeah, I don't know that the economic impact has been that significant, but it's certainly a nice thing to have in your city. Nice in the dome, that's for sure.
Nice in the dome, for sure. I wanted to ask you, lastly for me anyway, about some of the Colts of the past, because they've got an interesting logjam of Indianapolis Colts who probably belong in the Hall of Fame but aren't quite there yet. Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney jump to the top of that list. I know Marvin Harrison has gotten in. I can't remember Reggie Wayne. Did he get his go?
Reggie Wayne is on the cusp.
He's on the cusp. So there's three guys right there: Reggie Wayne, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, who, in my opinion, Bob, belong in the Hall of Fame, but they're not there. And I can understand to a degree why they are not. Well, what is your take on that?
Well, I mean, I think, again, I'm going to sound like a total homer here, but, I think both guys, Freeney and Mathis, belong in the Hall of Fame. They belong in there together because their whole careers were forged together. I think Robert leads I think he's the all-time leader in strip sacks. Freeney was just a monster. I think what hurts Mathis is that it's generally viewed, and not necessarily correctly, that because of Freeney and because you had to double team him, that left Robert Mathis to go one-on-one with people, which may have been true, but after Freeney left, Mathis had like a 19-sack season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're both marvelous players and good guys, and I think both should end up in the Hall of Fame. Whether they will or not, I have no idea.
It's going to be an interesting season in the AFC South. Bob, we appreciate the visit. As always, you have a great Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, sir.
Same to you, boys. Take care.
All right, Bob Kravitz there in Indianapolis, doing some work with Substack and covering the Colts. He's been doing it for a long time. Definitely knows the lay of the land in that city for sure. We're wide open the rest of the way to bring it home here on this Friday afternoon. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. More of the McFarland Show next.
Hello, I'm Greg Pogue, and welcome to the Big South OVC Football Weekly Spotlight, brought to you by Delta Dental of Tennessee. Clear eyesight, full smile, can't lose. Go Delta Vision. More information can be found at deltadentaltn.com. This marks the inaugural season of the Big South OVC Football Association. The partnership was originally formed in February 2022, and the initial term is scheduled to be at least 4 years. The unique agreement combines the two conferences' football memberships to ensure NCAA championship access and stability for the multi-sports conferences. Southeast Missouri was voted the preseason favorite by the league head coaches. The Redhawks shared the OVC title with UT Martin and played in the FCS playoffs last year. SEMO is ranked number 11 nationally in the preseason FCS coaches top 25 poll and number 12 in the Stats Perform poll. Gardner-Webb, the 2022 Big South champion, was picked second in the preseason poll. The Running Bulldogs, who topped Eastern Kentucky in the FCS playoffs last year, is number 24 in the preseason coaches poll and number 25 in the Stats Perform poll. In the opening weekend, 4 games were played Thursday night. Another 6 will be played Saturday, including Tennessee State playing Notre Dame on national television, NBC, as the Fighting Irish play both an HBCU and FCS team for the first time. 4 other Saturday games, Gardner-Webb at Appalachian State, Bryant at UNLV, SEMO at Kansas State, and UT Martin at two-time defending champion Georgia can all be seen on ESPN+. This has been the Big South OVC Football Weekly Spotlight, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and Delta Dental of Tennessee. Keep your health care costs low and your health at an all-time high with the power of preventive dental and vision plans from Delta Dental of Tennessee. Stronger together, visit BigSouthOVCFootball.com to learn more and follow along on all their social media platforms. I'm Greg Pogue, wishing everybody a great weekend of Big South OVC football.
Winning teams continually refine and add to their game plan. Just take a peek inside the Delta Dental Playbook. In addition to dental plans, Delta Dental now offers Delta Vision, a vision plan that you can add on to your dental plan for a little more than $8 a month. $8. The same math as a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Check them out at deltadentaltn.com. Delta Dental. They put the C in Tennessee.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Jim Rome Show.
Man, I love Facebook. That's not in any way a time suck. And it's such a valuable use of your time going on everybody else's page and posting how beautiful they look when they don't. They don't. You know they don't. Come on. Anyway, do what you want with your time. I don't want you to tell me how to spend my time. I won't tell you how to spend your time, but I will tell you this. Stop cropping out pictures and including yourself and then acting like, hey, my hair looked great that day. My makeup was perfect that day. Just do what I tell you. With regards to this, you'll be fine.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio. The Mcfarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. BGA at Nashville Christian tonight here on these airwaves. The coverage will begin at 6:15. BGA, Battleground Academy at Nashville Christian. 6:15 the coverage here on Nashville Sports Radio. Joe Fisher and Jonathan Schaefer on the call for you this evening. And it'll also be Braves and Dodgers out in Los Angeles following our high school football coverage. Did you have a high school comment?
Something's been happening in high school football this week over on the news side that I wanted to bring over here to the sports side here because it goes hand in hand. a couple of weeks ago, the cross-country team for cross-country track team for Beach High School showed up to have their practice like they do every morning. And when they got to the stadium, they noticed the bleachers at the football stadium had collapsed. And
this
so,
is at Beach?
At Beach High School. And so they told, their coach. The coach told the principal. Principal called all the King's Horsemen and King's Men. And they came in and they decided to do a complete thorough inspection of every single football stadium in Sumner County where Beach High School is located. What they found is there's at least 4 Sumner County football stadiums that need bleacher replacement, or else the same thing could happen to them. Fast forward to yesterday, or at least earlier this week, Metro Schools, seeing that, decided, you know what, we should probably do an inspection of our facilities. And they found that multiple of their stadiums as well also need replacement. As a matter of fact, John Overton High School, their fans, some of their fans at least.
Speaking of Mookie,
some of those fans had to sit in folding chairs on the track because the bleachers, or at least a good portion of them, were not available. Darren, here's what they found. And this is coming from the Sumner County Director of Schools. He says there is a false premise out here that cement lasts forever, and it doesn't. There's also zero requirement to inspect the bleachers at any of these facilities at all. Now, you have to inspect the indoor bleachers for some reason, but you don't have to inspect the outdoor bleachers, according to the state.
What?
There's no requirement to inspect them. So think about it now. When was the stadium built at your high school? Most of you don't know because it's always been there. That's how long the stadium, for most of us. And I'm not saying for everybody. I know there's a lot of new high schools and some people have refurbished and done things. But 9 times out of 10, maybe not 9, 7 times out of 10, more times than not, most people have no idea when their high school football stadium got there because it's been there for so very long. The director of schools in Sumner County says it is time to move away from cement structured stadiums in high school sports. Now,
and go to what?
Now that is the trick, now isn't it? So they're gonna get a committee together and do what they normally do in government. I'm not gonna bore everybody to tears here on this side about it. I do just want to bring it up because obviously it has a direct impact on a lot of you who may be going out to a venue. There was at least 4 high schools in Sumner County that had to get temporary bleachers, bringing them in this week to make sure that fans have a place to sit. And check this out, Darren. They did not want Beach High School to suffer because if they don't have enough capacity come playoff time, the state will move their playoff games somewhere else. And they didn't want Beach High School to suffer, so they went and spent the money, got the temporary bleachers in place just so they could meet whatever capacity they can normally meet to make sure they can host a playoff game if they get the opportunity to do so. So I just wanted to put this out here on the table that, and I know in Sumner County at the very least, they're going to start having a conversation here very soon in the near future about what high school football and track stadiums are going to look like because they say they just have not gotten the type of love and attention that they have needed. They have found lots of cracks, water damage, ceiling collapse, all that kind of stuff that eventually worked its way to the bleachers. And again, no one was hurt. The cross-country team showed up one day for practice a couple weeks ago, saw it, and told their coach.
I'm a little confused on the group of people that thought cement lasts forever and just wondering where they...
Well...
what their background is.
Well...
If you own it, let's just start with if you own a home. Probably have a cement driveway, you have a cement, concrete.
Yeah,
concrete is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Concrete,
cement,
sidewalks, concrete, driveway, it gets cracks and things start happening and it buckles over the elements and oh, by the way, you brought up the new stadium to Bob Kravitz.
I did.
There's a reason the new stadium is about to happen.
Yeah.
Albeit it was a horrible idea, and I said it many, many times when they're like, no, we're just going to come out and renovate. I'm like, no, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Thank goodness they went in there and said, oh, we can't renovate this stadium.
No,
it's concrete.
Yeah.
And it's a mess.
Yeah.
Like we would spend almost the same amount of money to renovate this stadium. That's a mess.
The difference,
because it's concrete.
The difference, Darren, is there is a full-time staff at Nissan Stadium. There's someone in Nissan Stadium all the time. They get millions of dollars to keep upgrades on Nissan Stadium. The average high school football stadium, you turn off the lights and you leave it. When the season is over, you turn off the lights. Who's going in there and patching up the car? Nobody.
Yeah, but it's
not in the budget.
Agree.
No one's thinking about it.
But going back to there's people that think concrete lasts. Like, you don't have to own a home. If you just walk around anywhere, you're basically walking on concrete. Does it look like it's not flawed? No. Typically, it's depending on where you are, it's got issues. You can tell.
Yeah.
Because it's probably old, right? And when it gets old, it starts cracking and all kinds of things happen. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that the schools haven't addressed it in forever.
Decades.
What's the sad part is, Justin, is that usually it was going to take something probably bad happening for them to be forced to address the issue.
Yeah.
As long as nothing bad was happening, they were just going to be business as usual. Fair to say?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's not Metro. That's not Sumner. That's anybody.
That's everybody.
Pick a county.
Well, because it's a problem everywhere. Think about they all built the stadiums the same way.
Yes.
How many different high school stadiums you go to?
They're concrete slabs.
And they're not, exactly distinct with they weren't built for that.
Justin,
some are. So they do some frills in some places, but most are just basically all the same.
My son just started middle school, and they played Stewart's Creek on Monday night. Well, I don't remember what day, Monday or Tuesday night. And so our son wanted to go to the game because we know a lot of kids on our baseball team go to Stewart's Creek.
Yeah.
He goes to Rock Springs Middle. And so we went to the JV game. Stewart's Creek, you've ever been there?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It
is.
Beautiful
campus.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very old.
No.
Well, guess what their football stadium is?
Concrete.
Concrete.
Standard.
It's concrete.
It's the standard.
Yeah. All right, we'll take our final break. Come back. Nate, we'll get to you on the other side to wrap up the week and the Friday edition of the McFarland Show.
And now, Green Quality Painting, LLC is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Visit DAV.org and consider donating to the disabled U.S. veterans who need our help. This message is brought to you by Green Quality Painting, LLC, serving Clarksville, Nashville, and the surrounding areas with several years of experience. For all your residential or commercial painting and staining, give the pros a call today at 385-261-6543. Green Quality Painting, LLC. They're professionals who care.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
We all know that Nashville life can get hectic. In the middle of all the madness that is life, don't forget to take care of yourself. Treat yourself to Nashville's ultimate relaxation experience at Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel. With services for men and women, Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel is your one-stop shop for full-body treatment. Begin your experience in the exquisite relaxation room, then enjoy a full-body treatment or even a couple's massage before finishing in the salon. Located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, Mocara Spa is Nashville's highest quality high-quality self-care oasis. To book your experience or gain information on packages, call Mocara Spa today at 615-761-3600. Again, 615-761-3600. Or log on to theomnihotel.com. And with every booking, you'll have free valet parking and rooftop pool access to enjoy the Music City skyline. And through Labor Day, enjoy the 4th floor spa terrace for only $20. Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
As we barrel toward the fall, you don't want to miss a single pitch of the Braves as they try to lock up their 6th straight division crown.
Stretching the pitch. Swung on, lifted to left field. That might get out of here. That's in the bullpen. Home run, Sean Murphy.
Tonight, it's another late-night battle between two of the best teams in the National League as the Braves take on the Dodgers in L.A.
Coverage begins tonight at 8:55 on your home for the Atlanta Braves. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
That is the number. And Nate has jumped in on the phone line. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys? Happy Friday. It's a nice one out here.
Yeah, it is.
So I know I might answer my own question with the explanation I'm going to give, but I understand public buildings, and at least I think, I've never heard of this, and, you know, private houses don't have to have routine inspection for safety. But do the NFL and college stadiums have to? Because I feel like that, you know, obviously that would be a more tragic situation if something happened with one of those venues. And I understand high school stadiums are a whole lot less, you know, a couple hundred at the most, maybe. At, you know, in Texas, probably a few thousand. But I would think that it would be mandatory for high schools to go under routine inspections for their stadiums. How is this not illegal?
For the gyms, there are mandatory inspections for the indoor gyms. For the outdoor facilities, for whatever the reason, Nate, according to the school director in Sumner County, inspections are not required.
That doesn't make any sense. You want to
inspect
You want to inspect the indoor facility, but you don't want to inspect what sits out in the elements 365 days a year? What?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that break down more easy because of the element?
What?
You would think.
One would think.
You would think.
I don't know. That's not exactly
You would
our
think.
area of expertise, but one would think.
Nate, to answer your other question, places like Bridgestone Arena and Nissan Stadium and the like professional venues, they do inspections, not because I think they're mandatory, but because they want to make sure that it's safe enough that if something happens, you don't come after the venue the team and the organization if the bleachers collapse on you while sitting at a game one day.
Exactly. But y'all have a great weekend, guys.
Nate, tell
Enjoy
your daughter
football.
hello. You too.
Thank you, sir.
I think I heard her.
Probably so. No,
I think so.
Nate's a hands-on dad from what we can
He
tell.
is, yeah.
Every time he calls, he's doing part sports talk, part dad work. Good job.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't. They're not held to any, standard. Why, I guess, especially on the high school level.
Yeah.
There's no, governing body, somebody has to be responsible
Well, it's
for
TSSAA, but they don't govern venues. No.
No.
You would need a state. You would need the state or the county or somebody to give, occupancy and things like that.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy all the games. We're off on Monday. We'll talk to you Tuesday at 2 o'clock. We'll see you then.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
Rogen's mom in Europe.
And I actually
didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it.
Wait, what should we email Seth Rogen's mom? Can we do this all as a show? Can we have her?
Is that your Seth Rogen?
Sound like Beavis and Butthead. So we have to figure out what do we want to write to Seth Rogen.
Let's ask Seth to come on the show and talk to Weeda.
He would be like their Pied Piper.
She's going to get him to do a cameo. That's what's going to happening.
Where are we going to pay? What a deal. Way to know people in high places.
She gets a 25% off discount. I know what the cameo would say. Be, hey, I heard you were on a cruise with my mom. Cool.
And that costs $600.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
CBS Sports Radio, Maggie and Perloff off today. I am Bart Winkler in their place. Carlos Ortiz is here. Mike Samter is here. You guys are here. 855-212-4227. 855-212-4CBS. With a holiday weekend that is going to consist, for me, of a lot of football. A lot of college football, a lot of, oh my goodness, I got fantasy drafts like every night. I got one Sunday, I got one Monday, I have one Tuesday.